Gorgeous afternoon for baseball here at the Big A. The Halos drop the opener of this 4-game homestand. Today it's the finale. It's just a quick 2-game set against the visiting Oakland Athletics. Hi, everybody, from inside the Big A. We welcome you back to Angels Baseball on Fox Sports West. I'm Victor Rojas, along with my partner, Mark Gubiza. Yesterday, the Angels were shut out for the 8th time this season, 5-0 at the hands of a young man by the name of Tyson Ross. And this afternoon, in this matinee special, they see a familiar foe by the name of Bartolo Colon. He's going up against Ervin Santana. And you know what Bartolo did against the Angels the last time here.
Victor, a couple of good friends, former teammates, but Ervin Santana going against his buddy Bartolo Colon, who threw 38 straight strikes last time in Anaheim against the Angels. But Ervin Santana, his last 3 starts, he's going back to the bases. He's using that fastball. He's dominating with his nasty slider and, of course, an occasional changeup. He can pitch inside with the best of them, which made his slider that much better. We mentioned Bartolo Colon. He is a strike thrower. There's no secret to his game. He's going to go after you with fastball, and, by the way, again, another fastball. Maybe an occasional slider changeup will be around the zone. You got to center that fastball early on. He's had tremendous success here at the Big A, 7-1 with a career ERA at 2.10. Ervin, though, 13 career wins against the Oakland A's. Look for him to dominate with that fastball and slider and hopefully get an early lead and make that hold up.
Now we'll see how it plays out, too. With this 4 o'clock start, you're going to have a lot of shadows creeping in about the 3rd and 4th innings. Usually the pitcher's advantage. You got both offenses that both had struggled this year, but the Angels still have not figured out the Oakland Athletics. Just 1-4 on the season. We're just about ready for baseball here at the Big A, so sit back, relax. We'll bring you the lineups and the first pitch when we return.
Angels baseball is brought to you by the $3.99 Jack's Value Deal. Right now at Jack in the Box, you can try Jack's Value Deal. It's chicken nuggets, a Junior Jack, value fries, and a drink, all for just $3.99 plus tax. By Hyundai, the votes are in. The Hyundai Elantra is the 2012 North American Car of the Year. Visit your Southern California Hyundai dealer today. And by 76 Gas. We're on the driver's side. Back here at the Big A, the Angels not wasting any time here, taking the field. Ervin Santana anxious to get back out there and try to kind of keep the momentum going that he has built for himself with that fastball, slider, and change of combination. And we will take a look at Bob Melvin's starting lineup for this afternoon. And the Oakland A's coming to this one, second place in the American League West, 4 games back of Texas with a 19-17 record. They have Jamal Weeks leading things off at second base. Cliff Pennington, the shortstop, he will bat second. Josh Reddick, who homered last night, is in right field. Seth Smith is the cleanup hitter in left. Sheila Kaiue is the designated hitter. Josh Donaldson at third base. Derek Martin at first. Kurt Suzuki's doing the catching. And Colin Cowgill is the center fielder. He will bat ninth. Taking on Santana, 1-6 record in that 5.09 ERA.
Yeah, he's throwing the ball very well. His last 3 starts, 22 1/3 innings pitches, 7 earned runs, allowed just 2 home runs during that stint. Prior to that, though, he was victimized by a lot of home runs, working that fastball inside. His slider's been much more improved as far as down and away.
Let's take a look at the defense for the Halos. Behind Ervin Santana, Vernon Wells in left, Mike Trout in center, Mark Trumbo is in right field. The infield has Alberto Callasco, Eric Ibar, Howie Kendrick, and Albert Pujols from third to first, and Bobby Wilson back behind the plate.
We mentioned that 2-seam fastball by Ervin Santana and the slider. It keeps Howie Kendrick extremely active. Made that key play in preventing and allowing Ervin Santana, I should say, to be able to have the no-hitter last season. Has been very good and very active with Ervin on the mound.
Howie had the night off last night. First pitch this afternoon, it's a called strike. Jamal Weeks went 0 for 4 in last night's game, hitting 198. Couple of home runs, 5 runs batted in. 0-1 pitch, bounce on the ground to the right side. Pujols started for it, gets back to the bag, and they just do get Jamal Weeks by his step. Howie having to wait just a moment to allow Pujols the opportunity to get back to first base.
Like I said, Howie, that whole side of the infield with Pujols and Howie Kendrick going to be very active with Ervin because he throws that slider in on lefties, down and in, of course, away against right-handed batters. So a lot of ground balls to that side of the field.
So 1 out, nobody on for Cliff Pennington, the switch-hitting shortstop. 1 ball, no strikes. Pennington went 1 for 4. His average of .212 with a home run and 7 runs batted in. As this one sliced down the third base line and toward the left field corner. Vernon overplays the carom. Pennington easily into second with a 1-out double. 7th double of the year for Pennington, a man in scoring position. We'll quickly take a look at our Hyundai key to the game.
Well, big thing for me on going with George Harrison. Do something. In other words, do anything you can on the defensive end, on the mound if you're Ervin Santana, at the plate, whether it's a productive out or stolen base, go first or third, dive and make a play in the field. Whatever it takes to help the team win a ball game. Something today is the key to the game.
Here's Josh Reddick, the right fielder. 1 for 4 game. The one was a home run off Dan Haren in the first inning last night. That put Oakland on top early, and they never looked back. Solo runs for Oakland in the first, 4th, and 8th innings last night. They scored 2 in the 5th. The Angels offense managing 8 hits, 8 singles against Tyson Ross in the bullpen. Foul for Norberto and Cook. 1 ball, 1 strike count on the former Boston Red Sox product. Reddick. He's got a 7-game hitting streak with that home run. It was his 9th. He's got 20 runs batted in. 1-1 on its way. Breaking pitch is bounced foul. And it is 1-2. And you look at that swing by Josh Reddick, and it's curious that he was able to drive that pitch that was up. It was a fastball from Haren last night that was up around the letters, but over the heart of the plate. It just looks like a guy that really makes that weight shift early to the front side, and it would make sense that he's susceptible to that pitch that's up. Trumbo makes a catch on that sinking liner. That's the pitch I think he's probably more capable of driving than, say, that fastball up.
Yeah, he likes the fastball and he likes the hard slider. If you could throw something slower, Ervin during that sequence of pitches to him, a nice changeup to even the count at 1-1, and then threw a slower breaking ball that he was out in front. But then this last one, the harder slider, he's going forward in a nice weight shift, loads on the back side, and then gets the bat out in front and hits that ball well. Didn't have as much break to that slider for Ervin. If he gets that down, he's going to get a swing and miss. Reddick's got a good, quick bat as far as hard stuff, whether it's a fastball or slider.
So 2 outs, and Seth Smith is at the plate. He's the left fielder. Cleanup hitter, swinging at the first pitch, and it's 0-1.
Well, getting back to Pennington, it's amazing what he's done against Irvin. 11 for 21 in his career. And Irvin's had tremendous success against Oakland in general. 13-game winner against Oakland, but Pennington's a guy that's very tough against them.
0-1 pitch. Missed inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Smith last night, 2 for 5 game. Couple of doubles, couple of runs batted in. Smith's second double in the 5th inning last night is what doubled up the score. Foul tipped, and it's 1-2.
Well, so often when you're a team that's struggling overall, you think in terms of little wins during the course of a game. And I know Mike Scioscia right now would like to see that, this is win the first inning, shut them down, and us score, and then allow us to put some pressure on Oakland as far as stealing some bases, go first to third, bunt, situational hit, but you have to be able to get that early lead to be able to do so.
Inside, evens a count of 2 balls and 2 strikes. Smith came in batting .253 with 3 home runs and 11 runs batted in this year. Former product of the Colorado Rockies. Breaking pitch. That's one sliced down the left field line, but tailing foul and out of play. The count remains at 2-2. Irvin coming off his first win of the season. That was against the Twins at Target Field. 7 1/3 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs, both earned. He 3 walks and 1 strikeout. Second time this year he'd walked 3 guys. He did it in his second start of the season against the Yankees. His first win for Irvin in his last 11 starts going back to September 1 of last year. Another 2-2. Smith yanks this one found on the right field line. Irvin working both sides of the plate against Smith.
Now you would think with that swing, dropping that fastball down and in, he'd be susceptible to a fastball up and in, but it's got to be above the belt.
Reaching for this one, bounces it over to Pujols. Irvin covering at the bag. The inning comes to an end. No runs, 1 hit, a man left in scoring position. It'll be Mike Trout, Alberto Callaspo, and Albert Pujols facing Bartolo Colon with no score heading to the bottom of the first. Starting 9 for this afternoon's game. The Halos at 15-21 at Mike Trout leading things off at center. Alberto Callaspo at third. Albert Pujols at first base. Kendrys Morales is the cleanup hitter at DH. Mark Trumbo in right field. Howie Kendrick in second. Vernon Wells in left. Eric Ibar, the shortstop. He'll bat 8th. And Bobby Wilson doing the catching and batting 9th to take on the 38-year-old Dominican Republic native and former Angel Bartolo Colon.
Bartolo Colon, fastball 87 to 93. A lot of fastballs. Will throw a slider and an occasional changeup.
First one to Mike Trout is in for a strike. Mike went 0 for 4 yesterday. The average of 283. Couple of home runs, 7 runs batted in, 5 doubles, no triples. Donaldson playing in over at third base just in case Trout has any ideas of dropping one down. As Mike loops this one foul into the seats on the first base side, and it's quickly an 0-2 count.
Well, we saw that a lot last time when Bartolo Colon pitched here at the Big A against the Angels. 38 straight strikes. Still a firm believer, and you make Bartolo Colon field bunts, make him active on the mound. He's a very good athletic pitcher. He's very quick to the plate, but if the more you make him move around, the more he's going to be out of his game.
Swing and a miss, and there is the first out for the Angels here in the first. Defensively for the Athletics, it's Smith, Cowgill, and Reddick from left to right field in the outfield for Oakland. Infield has Donaldson, Pennington, Weeks, and Barton from third to first, and Suzuki behind the plate.
Donaldson at third base has a strong arm. Former catcher. He makes the plays. He's going to have that powerful arm throwing across the diamond, but he's made 3 errors so far this year at that position. Again, with Bart on the mound, a lot of strikes and a lot of activity at third.
Teoscar looks at a strike. Alberto went 1 for 4 yesterday. A 225 average with a home run and 8 runs batted in. This one yanked into right field. That's a base hit. Over to try to cut it off is Reddick. Goes into a slide. He's got a strong arm. Teoscar trying to go to second base, and he is gunned down.
Well, we talked about his arm strength, his 5th outfield assist. You thought he had no chance once it goes into a slide in the outfield down the line, but a perfect throw into second base gets Callaspo. Well, he goes into a slide, gets up right away, and a perfect strike in the air to Pennington, who applies the tag to Callaspo, tag him out.
First one is a little bit high to Albert Pujols. Callaspo gets credit for a single. I mean, those are the opportunities there where you try to go that head first slide away. The play is developing in front of you. You see what the outfielder's doing. You see where the second baseman or the shortstop, depending on coverage, is going to be doing.
I certainly like the aggressiveness by Callaspo to try to stretch that into a double.
Pujols late on that fastball. That's 1 ball, 2 strikes. And off the bat, it looked like a clear double.
Well, he was thinking double. He thought he was going to make it in there rather easy, but Reddick did a tremendous job of not only cutting that baseball, sliding, but popping up and throwing a perfect throw.
Ground ball towards short. Jamal Weeks, a second baseman, with a high throw, but he's covered by the tag, and that's an infield base hit. Weeks, a second baseman, playing on the overshift. Did a nice job getting to that ball on the backhand, but that throw pulling Barton off. And Albert able to avoid the tag, so it's an infield base hit.
Yeah, you can get away from that line when you're trying to avoid contact going down the first base, with the first baseman coming around there to be able to make sure you avoid any kind of injury, and it comes in, is able to get his foot on the base and avoid the tag by Barton coming down the line. See, clearly missed him.
Nice effort by Barton. Going with a phantom tag and then showing the baseball off. Morales looks at a strike. Kadri 0 for 3 last night, a 303 average, 3 home runs, 11 runs batted in. Three infielders on the right side for Morales. That one missing apparently just a little bit outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. That start in which Bartolo had here at the Big A was on April the 18th. Picked up the win. 8 innings, 4 hits, 5 strikeouts, and no walks through 108 pitches. Quick throw to first, and Pujols diving back in. Colon's coming off a loss to the Tigers. That was up at the Coliseum. His shortest outing of the season, 2 1/3 innings. 8 runs, 7 earned on 9 hits against the Tigers. Another quick throw, and Albert back safely. Here's the 1-1. Morales fouls it back. 1-2. Cologne's been incredibly good out on the road, which is weird considering how the Coliseum plays to a pitcher's advantage. Swing and a miss. Down goes Morales. The inning comes to an end. The Angels get a couple of hits and do not score. One complete, no score. Here in the second for Oakland, it'll be Kila Ka'aihue, the designated hitter, leading things off. He'll be followed by Donaldson and then Derek Barton. Ka'aihue did not play in yesterday's game, but slowed with a little hamstring issue. A .292 average with a home run and 7 runs batted in as he takes that pitch down the middle for a ball. 7 doubles for Ka'aihue. That'll even the count at 1-1. Brandon Inge, the newest Oakland Athletic, has been dealing with a groin issue. So he'll miss a couple of more games. This one lined toward left center field. Hit pretty good, but Mike Trout was shading Ka'aihue that way, and he'll track it down for the first out.
Boy, did Trout get a good first step on that one. It's one of those plays, too, off the left-handed bat. It's going to tail away from you as a center fielder, but read that well off the bat and made it look routine. Even though from up here it looked like he had a chance of getting in the gap.
Warm afternoon. Ball's going to carry a little bit more. So 1 out. Here's Josh Donaldson, the third baseman. Looks at a strike on the inside corner. Donaldson had 1 hit last night. Ended up being a double. Picked up an RBI. 1 for 3 overall. Just a 105 average. This one hit out toward left center field. Vernon Wells and Trout. It'll be Trout calling off the veteran, making the catch 2 down.
As a center fielder, that's your job. You're the quarterback of the outfield defense. Even though Vernon Wells has won 3 Gold Gloves at center field in the past, he's now the left fielder. And Trout has that option of calling him off, and he did a nice job. The communication is there and makes the play.
So 2 outs. Third fly ball out for Ervin Santana. What we saw over the last couple of starts, he'd become a more of a ground ball pitcher. 2 ground outs, 3 fly ball outs as Derek Barton takes down and in for ball 1. He's the first baseman. He went 0 for 2 yesterday. Did pick up a couple of walks, but hitting .182 with a home run and 4 runs batted in. This A's team that has struggled offensively. 8 hits last night, picking up the win. They've gotten some very good pitching. Second in the American League in team ERA, 3.45.
When you look at that 218 team batting average, yet they're a couple games over 500.
2 balls and a strike. They are just ahead of the Angels in runs scored. 132 runs scored for Oakland. 12th in the American League. The Angels with 130 are 13th. Minnesota Twins bringing up the caboose in that category. 2-1. Apparently Alfonso Marquez not liking the outside part of the plate to left-handed batters. It's 3 balls and 1 strike.
What Oakland's been able to do, they've been able to manufacture on stealing some bases, getting some productive outs and scoring that way. The walk total's pretty good too as a team.
Barton grounds one to the right side, backhanded by Pujols. The underhand flip, and Irvin has himself a 1-2-3 inning. In the bottom of the second with no score. With no score. Young and old here on this 4 o'clock start. First one of the year.
I like these times, especially as a pitcher.
Yeah, right. Start seeing the shadows creeping up from the third base line to the home plate area. Advantage to the guy on the bump. Trumbo getting the start in right field for the second consecutive time. Hooks went down the left field line, but foul. 2 for 4 game last night. Overall hitting .330. 6 home runs, 16 runs batted in.
Certainly been on fire in his last 11 games. .395 with 3 home runs and 8 RBI for Trumbo.
0-1 pitch. Bouncer foul. And no balls and 2 strikes.
Boy, fastball in, both 2-seam fastballs. Now this is a time where Bartolo Colon will throw that 4-seam fastball just off the plate. Trumbo's done a nice job as far as adjusting with 2 strikes to hit the ball hard the other way.
Mark did not face Bartolo in that April 18th game. The 0-2. This one's lifted in the air to shallow right center field. Cowgill, shading his eyes, makes the catch. There's out number 1. Fans, now's the perfect time to reserve a suite rental for the summer. Suites offer 12 to 36 guests the opportunity to enjoy the game in an intimate, private, and yet luxurious atmosphere. To reserve your suite today, call 888-796-HALO or by visiting angels.com/suites. 1 up and 1 down, and here's Howie Kendrick, the second baseman. Howie had the night off last night. Shoots the first one down toward the right field corner. This one's hit pretty well, and this one slices just foul.
right down that right field line. Very productive as far as swinging the bat in the month of May. 357, although he's had his troubles against Bartolo Colon. Just 1 for 13.
Well, as you said in the open, you know what you're going to get from Bartolo. Fastballs, fastballs, and more fastballs. Works both sides. This one's grounded to short. Pennington has it. 2 down. The thing is, the velocity is not necessarily up there. There were times last year as a member of the Yankees where he would creep up into the mid-90s with that fastball. Perhaps realizing you don't need to be there in order to be effective. He also has a little late life, and that's why you get some odd swings where it looks fairly straight at 90 miles per hour, and all of a sudden guys are late on it.
So often we said the best pitch in baseball is still the fastball because you can do so many things, but you can sink it, you can cut it, you can throw the four seam up in the zone, you can run it in on the hands of a hitter like you did against Vernon Wells. I mean, those 19 pitches, 18 have been fastballs.
I mean, it's the mentality of, here it is. See if you can hit it. And I'm not going to adjust until you do knock me around a little bit. 0-1 pitch out towards center field. Cowgill broke back, now comes in a couple of steps. Bartolo returns the favor with a 1-2-3 inning of his own. 2 complete, no score. And 1 here against Ervin Santana, Suzuki, Cowgill, and Weeks. No strikeouts, no walks for Ervin. Gave up a 1-out double to Pennington, but he was stranded at second base. That came in the first inning. Kurt Suzuki had a 2-for-4 game last night with an RBI, hitting .227. 7 doubles, 10 runs batted in overall. The breaking pitch is in for strike 1. This one fouled off to the right. An 0-2 count. Suzuki still dealing with the hand injury. As you can see, his left hand, he got that padding on the back of the hand. It bothers him as he catches the baseball as well.
That's why a hard slider off the outside corner is a perfect pitch against him.
Here's the 0-2. This one's hit in the air toward left center field. Mike Trout is tracking this one. And Ervin Santana just got away with a mistake pitch there for the first out.
That was the pitch he wanted to throw, a slider, but that was right in the middle of the plate.
Take a look at our Mazda League leaders. The home ERA in the American League. The Angels at 2.93. The Rays at 2.64, leading things.
In Oakland, you would think that at pitching in that ballpark. Great pitcher's yard in Oakland. A lot of foul territory. And, of course, then you have the night air. Very difficult to hit through it.
Colin Cowgill takes down low. It's 1 ball, no strikes. Two balls and no strikes. Cowgill get the start at center field last night. Hit 1-11 with 1 for 4 yesterday. Ground ball towards short. Ibar to his left. 2 down. Hey, log on to FoxSportsWest.com for all of the stories around the Southland, including how the West was won, the battle for L.A. So Lakers and the Clippers. Lakers got, what's the term, boat raced?
Yeah, they got beat pretty good.
Yeah, they got beat pretty good last night. Clippers tipping it off tonight against the San Antonio Spurs. And then the Los Angeles Kings, watch yourself. That was a nice move.
Dustin Brown, a little slap shot.
Yeah. Jonathan Quick in goal. That was your slap shot?
Oh, yeah.
That
little quick one.
Brutal. For FoxSportsWest.com, that's the place to get all of your information.
He's trying to be my Dustin Brown. He's got 7 goals.
You grew up in Philadelphia, a hockey fan, and that is your slap shot. No wonder you played baseball as a child. Inside, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, thank you for the compliment. I appreciate that.
A lot of big guys when you were growing up playing hockey, or they played basketball, football, baseball?
Just about everything. Hockey big time,
yep.
Especially when it got cold outside. The creek's back, froze up. It was fun.
Jamal Weeks is 0 for 1. He grounded out to Howie Kendrick in the first inning. 2-1 pitch. Weeks slices it foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Were you the guy that had to go test and make sure that the creek was actually frozen through?
I just knew you were going to ask that. So when I fell through, I was tall enough that I at least had my head up out of the water. That was perfect.
You were bobbing in the water, and everyone said, no, we can't play today, guys.
No. But you're cold. That's good.
2-2, swing and a miss. Wilson will have to throw on to Pujols to complete the strike, and another 1-2-3 inning for Ervin Santana. We're scoreless heading to the bottom of the third. Out of the game. One base runner has reached against them. That was a double back in the first inning. Bartolo Colon has had 2 guys reach, although Callaspo tried to stretch his single into a double, was thrown out. Pujols with an infield base hit. Set the Angels down in order in the second. Ibar, Wilson, Trout here in the third. 1 ball, no strikes. Eric still struggling. A 193 average now after an 0 for 4 night last night. 3 doubles, 1 triple, 6 runs batted in.
Well, you like to see Eric Ibar try to bring a baseball down the line with him here on a drag bunt.
He's ahead of the count at 2 balls and no strikes. Donaldson playing in over at third. Two and one. The shadows of the light standards above the upper deck on the third base side, starting to creep toward the mound now. Donaldson, the third baseman, is in the shade. Everyone else in the sunshine. This one's lifted in the air. Shallow left center field. Seth Smith coming on. And there's the first out. Umpires for this afternoon's game. Alfonso Marquez is behind the plate. Corey Blazer is over at first base. Chad Fairchild over at second base. And Tom Hallion, no bandage whatsoever. He is over at third. He got smoked a couple of times last night behind the plate.
Well, a great effort by him to be able to stick it out and manage to get one of his famous punch outs on a called third strike, even after that foul ball off his forearm.
Bobby Wilson looks at a fastball high. 1 ball, no strikes. Bobby went 0 for 2 yesterday. Pretty much the everyday catcher with Chris Iannetta on the shelf. Chris had wrist surgery on Fridays. That pitch is down and away. 2 balls and no strikes. John Hester, the backup catcher. There's Chris. Remember, he was the catcher when Jared Weaver threw that no-hitter here at the Big A and was hit by a pitch on that right wrist by Liam Hendricks. Stayed in the game. Played a couple of more games after that. But then had to have surgery.
Pretty amazing, though, when you think about it, to be able to stay in there and catch and call that no-hitter by Jared Weaver.
Caught the inside corner, 3-1. That was the first 3-ball count that Bartolo has thrown.
When you think about it, Weave has so many different pitches with a lot of movement on all of them. But as a catcher with that wrist injury, to be able to frame pitches is phenomenal.
Bobby Wilson lifts one out toward left field as Seth Smith is under it. 2 down. So back to the top of the order now, Mike Trout. Leadoff man who struck out in the first.
For a young hitter, he makes a great adjustment. We've seen a number of games in which he may have struck out his first at bat. The next at bat, he has a game plan against that pitcher, and he's had a lot of success the second time around.
Two strikeouts for Colon, no walks, 2 hits allowed. Check swing foul back, and it's 0-2. Oh, 2 on its way. Chopper back up the middle. Weeks can't get it. A seeing eye single with 2 outs here in the third, and Trout is on board.
Him keeping that same pattern after first at bat strikeout, comes up with a hit after that. Good approach here, going right back up the middle, not trying to do too much. Shorten his swing up, just made some contact and utilized the middle part of the field, which has that speed. He's going to be able to beat it out even if they make the play. Be surprised to see him take a shot at trying to steal a base, although Bartolo Colon is not allowed a stolen base this year. Very, very quick to the plate.
Teoscar takes a fastball high. Alberto yanked the fastball toward the corner right field in the first inning. Josh Reddick made a very nice sliding stop of it, got up and threw a strike to second base to get Alberto. Teoscar 1 for 1. Alberto yanks this one. That's inside the bag and toward the corner. Reddick is over to cut that baseball off. Trout is going to be raked home as Reddick has troubles with it. Teoscar stops at second. The Angels lead at 1-0. That's the pressure of speed on the bases, even with a guy like Josh Reddick with a terrific throwing arm and very accurate, having to deal with the camp and trying to hurry up on the play to try to get the baseball back into the infield.
It almost appeared as if he was looking up to see if Trout was going to try to score on that base hit down the line. Of course, once it hits the wall, a little bit troubles with it, gets away from him, but he's looking up to see where Callaspo, and of course, if Trout was going to make that decision to go home, and he was flying around the bases. Again, that pressure of speed, getting on base, what Trout was able to do, and Callaspo gets his second hit here. A double to go along with his single.
Second double of the year, his 9th run batted in. He's in scoring position for Albert Pujols. Looks at a fastball way outside for ball 1. Albert got an infield base hit in the first, so he's 1 for 1. Halos last night 0 for 8 with men in scoring position. But a couple of 2-out hits. Mike Trout with the seeing eye single up the middle. Callaspo with the double down the right field line. 1-0. Down and away. 2 balls and no strikes.
Callaspo has had success against Bartolo Colon coming into the game, hitting .357. So he continues to swing well against him. An opportunity now for Albert Pujols to get an RBI with a base hit.
(2-0). Ground ball towards short. Pennington tries to knock it down, and it trickles into the outfield. Callaspo will score. It is 2-0 Angels, as Pujols will get credit for a hit and an RBI.
Well, they haven't been masterpieces so far as 2 hits for Pujols, but he'll take it at this particular point. In this one, he even gets an RBI out of it. It's the ground ball. Because Pennington is playing in the hole against Pujols, still out in front. It hits the underside of the baseball, but it gets through enough into the outfield to get an RBI and a base hit out of it. As Pennington dives off his glove and trickles into the outfield.
Andres Morales shoots one toward left field. Seth Smith to his right is there, makes the catch. The inning comes to an end, but the Halos get 3 consecutive 2-out hits, and after 3, lead it 2-0. RBI double. It was Trout who started it off with the single. And Pujols with an RBI single himself. Ervin Santana to face Pennington, Reddick, and Smith here in the 4th inning. Tried to hold up. Did he go? He did. Tom Hallion rings him up, and it's 0-1. Pennington had a double in the 1st inning, was stranded in scoring position. His 7th double of the year. And it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. The double for Pennington is pointed out his 7th. And since that point, Ervin Santana's retired the next 8 in a row as that pitch is down low. Evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 1 strikeout and no walks for Ervin. This one chopped on the ground to second base. Howie Kendrick fires the Pujols, and there is out number 1 as we take a look at our Kia standings and we focus in on the National League East.
Well, you got Atlanta. A lot of people were thinking they were going to take a step back after that collapse last season. They got a lot of good young players. The Nationals, a big surprise. And, of course, the New York Mets, 5 games under 500. Miami Marlins in their new stadium with all that power have finally got over the 500 mark, and the Fightin' Phils in last place.
0-1 count on Josh Reddick.
I think it was just a slippage saying the Mets were 5 under. They were 5 over. Because I'm rooting for the Mets. That's probably why. Slipped my mind.
0-2 count. Interesting way the Phillies, by the way, won today. Hunter Pence, a little bit of an error or mistake, if you will, in right field, but that atoned for it with a walk-off home run.
What, you didn't like his throw in from right field?
I don't think he quite got to the throwing part.
Well, you know the Philly fans are always sympathetic about a mistake made in the field.
Yeah. Reddick, a swing and a miss. Down he goes for out number 2.
Nasty slider here from Ervin. This is the one he tried to get Reddick out the first time around, but it was over the plate a little bit. This one was tight downward action to get a swing and miss. His second punch out of the game.
That's down low for ball 1. Seth Smith grounded out his first time up. On its way. It's bounced in front of the plate. 3 balls and no strikes. 5 hits for the Angels this afternoon. Oakland with that 1 double in the first. A lot of afternoon games, a lot of 2-game series this week. Chicago White Sox roll into town tomorrow night. There's a strike, 3-1. 2-game set, and then the Halos back out on the road. 10-game stretch, 3 in San Diego, 3 against the Athletics in Oakland, and then 4 against the Seattle Mariners. Full count.
You can see how difficult it is for a hitter to be able to pick up the baseball. Baseball coming out of the sunshine, through the shadow, back to the sunshine, and then back into the shadow. Especially when you have good stuff like Ervin.
Swing and a foul tip, Bobby.
You can see that swing there. It basically tells you it's difficult to pick up, especially if you can throw a breaking pitch now. That spin is difficult for a hitter to pick up. Fastball spin a little bit easier, kind of guess it in a zone at this time of the day, but a good hard slider, very difficult for a hitter to pick up.
Swing and a miss. Down goes Smith. Back-to-back strikeouts for Santana. He now has 3 in the game. We head to the bottom of the 4th. The Angels still on top.
wireless receiver from AT&T Uverse. Visit AT&T.com/free your TV. Rethink possible. By CarMax. Start the search for your next car at CarMax. CarMax. Start here. And by Hawaiian Gardens Casino. Get your game on.
2-0 Halos. Bottom of the fourth inning. Mark Trumbo to lead things off against Bartolo Colon. Trumbo showing bunt. Takes a strike, and it's 0-1. Mark 0 for 1. He had a fly ball to center field, leading off the second. The chopper right back to Colon. 1 out.
He's run some pretty good fastballs in on Trumbo so far in the game at 2 at-bats. Again, that wasn't a bad idea what Trumbo tried to do as far as the bunt. It allows you, when you square around the bunt, you can track the baseball, get a better view of the baseball going through the shadows and into the plate area. It allows you to have a better idea where the ball is going to be at to make contact, because it is a difficult time for a hitter here with the shadows and sunlight to deal with.
Howie Kendrick takes outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Howie 0 for 1. He grounded out to short in the second inning. It's the 1 inning in which Colon has retired the side in order. Howie sharply hit towards short. Pennington picks it up. 2 down. Let's take a look at our AT&T trivia question for this afternoon's game. Today we asked the following: who are the only 5 active pitchers to allow more career home runs than Bartolo Colon? Active pitchers. Vernon Wells at the plate with 2 outs and nobody on.
Trying to think of guys who have a lot of innings pitched.
Vernon hit a fly ball to center field himself in the second inning, so he's 0 for 1. Up and in. 1 ball, 1 strike. This one line to left, a base hit with 2 outs. Second straight inning in which the Angels have picked up a 2-out knock. Trout did it in the third, and it led to 2 runs. Vernon 1 for 2, and here comes Ivar. Let's go back and take a look at that high fastball swing.
This time he got his hands through that baseball. Bartolo Colon has thrown a couple pitches. Vernon Wells and Mark Trumbo. This time Vernon got his hands through the baseball and hit it in the left field for a base hit.
Ibar with a fly ball to left field in his first AB in the third, so he's 0 for 1. Base hit by Wells, the 6th of the game for the Angels. 5 singles, 1 double. Teoscar with the RBI double. Pick up his 9th run batted in. Two balls and no strikes.
Again, for Eric Ibar, our line drive. Anytime you want to see him hit a fly ball is if he hits down the right field line on something all speed inside. Otherwise, line drive the other way.
Same sequence as the last at bat. 2 pitches away. Come back inside on the 2-0 count. Get the inside corner 2-1.
And then he tries to sink something away 2-1, and that's when Ibar hit that fly ball out the left field. Want to keep a level swing and hit it hard on the line or on the ground.
This one lifted in the air to shallow left center field. Smith coming on, calls off everybody. That will end the inning. We've played 4 here at the Big A, and the Angels with a 2-0 lead. Only 5 active pitchers who've allowed more career home runs than Bartolo Colon.
I think Roy Halladay was in there.
Jamie Moyer, Livan Hernandez, Jeff Suppan, Ted Lilly, Kevin Millwood, who's now with the Seattle Mariners, and Bartolo.
Jeff Suppan, we'll see him probably in one of those starts down in San Diego.
There's still no announcement on the matchups for that weekend series down at Petco Park. Interleague play. Kicking things off this weekend is Kila Ka'aue. The DH takes a breaking pitch down low. He hit a fly ball to center field in the second. She's 0 for 1. 3 punch outs for Santana. No walks, 1 hit. Strike on the outside corner. Looks like that outside corner opening up a little bit for Alfonso Marquez.
And if you have a catcher that's not moving his glove a whole lot, eventually the umpire will end up calling that pitch because he sees it and he's framing it well.
A 1-2 count now after that wild swing on a fastball down in the strike zone.
Bobby Wilson does a great job as far as being quiet behind the plate. Not a lot of movement, doesn't tip location. Very solid as a catcher.
Swing and a miss on the breaking ball. Down goes Ka'aue, and that's 3 consecutive strikeouts for Ervin Santana. 1 down here in the 5th.
Good target set by Bobby Wilson. Great execution by Ervin Santana on that nasty slider. Again, if you have a slider and you can throw it well with the shadows in play, extremely hard for a hitter to be able to pick up that rotation, which is a different spin, a breaking pitch compared to a fastball for them to be able to read as a hitter.
Josh Donaldson takes the breaking ball low. Donaldson hit a fly ball to Mike Trout in the second innings. He's 0 for 1. Third baseman, former property of the Chicago Cubs. The appeal did not go in the Angels' favor. Corey Blazer saying he did not swing. It's 2 balls and no strikes. Ervin's thrown 58 pitches, 37 strikes, 21 balls. Chopper to third. Callaspo's got it on 2 hops. 2 down. This is the 23rd appearance. Pardon me, 25th appearance, 23rd start for Ervin Santana against Oakland in his career. 13-4 record, a 2.15 ERA. 13 wins, the most against any opponent that he has had. Usually happens when you're playing a team so much within your division.
Well, his ERA has been outstanding against him, too, just barely over 2.
Derek Barton looks at a strike. Barton grounded out to Pujols last time up. Count even now, 1 ball, 1 strike. Two-one count. Ervin working with a nice tempo here. At times when, especially when things start to snowball on him, you almost want him to slow down a little bit. There's a strike, 2-2.
That's pretty good movement on that fastball. It's almost like a cut fastball for him, 4-seam variety. He also will throw the 2-seam fastball too with good movement.
2-2 on its way. Swing and a miss. Down goes Barton. And it's another 1-2-3 inning for Ervin. 15 in a row retired by Santana. 2 runs coming into third. 3 hits came with 2 outs. Bobby Wilson will lead things off, followed by Mike Trout and then Alberto Callaspo. It's Bartolo Colon. 2 strikeouts, no walks, 6 hits allowed. First one to Bobby. It's a swing and a miss. Wilson with a fly ball to left in the 3rd inning. So he's 0 for 1.
One of the few breaking pitches that Bartolo Colon has thrown. Bobby was guessing fastball, which you should against Colon, and instead got a slider.
Yep. Breaking pitch is tapped foul. Dino Ebel. And Wilson behind, and no balls, 2 strikes. Ground ball toward third. Donaldson with a backhand. 1 out. Fans, tomorrow the Angels take on the White Sox at 7:05. Fans in attendance will receive a Peter Borges bobblehead courtesy of Natural Balance while supplies last. Purchase tickets today at the Angels Stadium ticket office or by logging on to angels.com. Sure be nice if he's in the starting lineup on his bobblehead night.
Boy, you hope so. Will it create some offense with that speed? Great defense. He's keeping a positive attitude. He's doing a lot of extra work to when he gets that opportunity to go out there and perform and do what he can do.
Mike Trout looks at strike 1. Trout 1 for 2 with a strikeout in the 1st, a single and a run scored in the 3rd. Oh, 2 count. Bartolo last year with the Yankees had an 8-10 mark, of 4 ERA, 29 games, 26 starts. Signed a 1-year deal this offseason with Oakland. Yankees probably wish that they had re-signed him. Had some issues in their rotation. Breaking pitch, and that is pulled through the hole. Second hit of the game for Trout.
Only 2nd time he's come up with 2 strikes against him and still managed to put the bat on the baseball and get an infield hit through the infield. Time he got a slider, was down. Just a good piece of hitting once again by Trout. He does a nice job of shifting his weight forward but keeping his hands back long enough to be able to make good contact. Get that through the hole.
Quick throw, little stutter step by Trout getting back to the bag. Callaspo's 2 for 2 with a single and a double, an RBI and a run scored.
Not easy for a first baseman, too, as you're trying to pick up the baseball. A quick throw over by Bartolo Colon. I talked about how quick he is at a plate. He's also quick to first, but that baseball's coming out of shadow with him also. See him trying to get down to be able to pick up the ball.
Yeah, that coupled with a left-handed batter that you also have to all of a sudden quickly turn your attention to. And that left-handed batter who's twice has hit the ball in your direction.
Yeah, he remembers it very well. Well, right now, if you're Mike Trout, you're in a good position right here to be able to try to score on a ball into the outfield again, utilizing your wheels because there's a hole created between first and second because Barton is holding him on here. And Callaspo's hit the ball well both times right in that spot.
Bartolo paying a lot of attention to Trout. 2 stolen bases for Mike. Team leader in stolen bases for the Angels, Meiser Sturz, 7.
Meiser with a big game yesterday, 3 hits.
Some were asking via social media today if something was wrong with Meiser. Why wouldn't he be back in there after a 3-hit game? But he's fine. Howie back in there. Just matchup wise, I guess. Mike Scioscia decided to go with Alberto Callaspo at 3rd.
Cayaspo 7 for 16 now against Bartola Colon.
Trout takes off and Cayaspo fouls it off the left. Alberto chasing a pitch up and out of the strike zone. It looked like Trout had a terrific jump at first. It's 2-1.
And talking to Mike Scioscia for a while today about, the struggles offensively. All he was talking about is somehow getting an early lead to be able to allow him to be able to put runners in motion, better be more successful as far as scoring more runs as the game progresses.
Took a little bit off. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Pujols on deck. Full count now. Figure Trout will be going for sure here. Seven hits for the Angels, 1 for Oakland. Halos have left 3 men on base. The Athletics have stranded 1. Along with a couple of strikeouts, both of those coming in the first inning. Trout takes off. The 3-2 is a called strike 3. The throw sails into center field. Trout gets up, is going to try to go to third. A throw from Cowgill is not in time. A stolen base and an error on Kurt Suzuki, his second error of the season.
Boy, he's so quick getting up and making that adjustment and go quickly to third base. Head first slide. 2-seam fastball by Colon. It gets Cayaspo, but slides in there head first and reads that into the outfield. If you sees it, it's a left-handed thrower in center field. He's had to field that ball, then going away from the throw, takes that chance and is aggressive to go to third base.
Love the fact it goes in head first and keeps his head looking out toward the outfield grass, looking for a baseball out on that green. Sees it and takes off.
It was great how he did. You can just tell the instincts he has. When you have a left-handed throwing outfielder, he's going away from the throw. More difficult to be accurate with it. And he took that opportunity to try to advance to third and slid in there head first.
Pujols bounces one off the glove of Colon towards short, and nobody's going to get this one. Pujols will reach. It's 3-0 Angels.
3-hit game for Albert today. He's got a little smile on his face. He's hit some baseballs hard during this tough stretch for him. But now another base hit. Up the middle off the glove of Bartola Colon. That's going to be played right. That's what, as a pitcher, you look back, see where your infielder is at. That ball is right at Weeks if he lets it go, but that's your normal reaction. And Albert gets another base hit and another RBI on an infield hit.
Kendrys Morales takes that pitch down low. Kendrys is 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a fly ball to left.
Just like Mike Scioscia was saying before the game, just like that opportunity to be able to create some scoring chances, and he did so. Mike Trout steals second, gets up and goes to third on an infield, on the throw in the outfield, and scores on an infield hit.
There's a base hit to left field, taking what's given to him and just serves it out there. Morales with a 2-out base hit. Runners at first and second, and Mark Trumbo coming up.
Hey, better approaches against Colon this time as compared to last time at the Big A. He's going to fastball the way. You don't try to pull that baseball. You stay with that swing and hit the ball the other way against the shift. You try to pull that, it's going to go right into the shift with 3 infielders on that side of the field.
There's Trumbo, 0 for 2 with a fly ball to center to bouncer back to Colon. Mark takes that pitch inside. The 3-hit game for Pujols, his second of the year. The other one he had was against Oakland. April the 19th, that was the game in which he had 3 doubles.
Yes, most hitters, though, when you have games like this in which you didn't necessarily hit the ball extremely well, but you have good numbers up there, 3 hits, a couple RBIs. There's the ones that get your streaks going.
This one, a big corner ground ball, I should say, to the right side, Jamal Weeks. And his throw pulls Barton off the bag. Boy, off the bat, it looked like it was going to just leak into right field. But Weeks, with his range, is able to get it. Unable to throw out Trumbo, and the bases are loaded as Mark gets credit for an infield base hit.
It's a tough play because you're going into the outfield, too. If your Weeks off-balance throw, and Trumbo runs well down the line anyhow, he senses a base hit and ends up getting an infield hit. A number of infield base hits, just putting the ball in play, not trying to do too much, simplifying that approach at the plate successfully today.
Kurt Young, the pitching coach, is out to the mound to pay a visit to Colon, who's thrown 66 pitches. Nobody loosening as of yet for Oakland. 47 strikes and 19 balls issued by Colon, who struck out Alberto Callaspo, looking for the second out here in the 5th inning. That was also when Mike Trout stole second base and went to third on the errors. See Jerry Blevins, the lefty, loosening. And since then, 3 base hits. Infield knock for Pujols with an RBI. Morales a base hit to left. Trumbo with the infield base hit to the right side. As Howie Kendrick steps to the plate. Bases loaded, 2 down here in the 5th. 3-0 Angels. 1 ball, no strikes. Colon looking in, wondering where that pitch was. The 1-0. A little bit high, 2 balls and no strikes. Howie twice has grounded out to short.
Well, Howie just 1 for 15 against Bartolo Colon in his career, but this is the time to look for that fastball. Make sure it's middle part of the plate, because Bartolo Colon with a lot of movement on his fastball might run off the plate, so be patient.
2-0. Ground ball to second. Weeks will flip to Pennington. The inning comes to an end. Not quite the pitch you want to drive there. The inning comes to an end, but the Angels do get a run and now lead it 3-0.
Santana's had a nasty slider, gets Reddick on the slider down and in. Seth Smith, the same type of slider. Boy, he's had that magical slider working in this day, going through the shadows. 5 punch-outs for Irvin with no walk so far here in the top of the 6th innings. He takes on the bottom part of the order, and Kurt Suzuki leading off for Oakland.
Suzuki, Cowgill, and Weeks. That's 8-9-1 for Oakland here in the 6th inning. Santana had 64 pitches thrown so far. 5 punch-outs and no walks. Suzuki looks at a breaking pitch for a strike. Kurt hit a fly ball to center field leading off to third, so he's 0 for 1. Swing and a miss. Good breaking pitch. Perfect spot. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Even if he makes contact there, more than likely on the ground.
Yeah, the best he can do is hit that ball to the right side of the infield. It's a tight break to that slider.
This one, a little soft liner to Ibar, and he's got it before it hits the ground, and there's out number 1. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Angels Baseball LP.
And Kurt Suzuki now 3 for 32 against Ervin Santana.
Calgill is the center fielder, and he's 0 for 1. Grounded out to Ibar. That slider's perfectly placed on the outside corner for a strike. Bouncing that fastball. Count is even at 1 ball, 1 strike. Halos with 2 runs in the 3rd, both coming with 2 outs. And 1 run in the bottom of the 5th inning, a 2-out infield single by Albert Pujols. Swing and a miss. 1 and 2. The count is even at 2 and 2. 10 hits this afternoon for the Angels. The top 3 in the order for the Angels: Trout, Kayasma, and Pujols combined 7 for 9.
An opportunity to try to sneak a fastball here now for Ervin.
On the inside corner, got him looking 2 down. Boy, just locked him up.
Yeah, the reason why I say that is because a lot of times when hitters is trying to find a way to make contact on a nasty slider, if you can locate your fastball, it's very difficult for them to make that adjustment and swing at a good fastball like that.
Back to the top of the order, Jamal Weeks at the plate. Weeks is 0 for 2. Ground ball to second and a strikeout. 6 punch outs now for Santana. Season high is 10, and that was 2 starts ago against the Blue Jays right here. It's a bouncer over to the right side. Pujols trying to go to the backhand there. Has it go underneath his glove. And that's the first base runner to reach since that 1-out double in the 1st by Cliff Pennington. Seemed like a fairly routine ground ball. But with the speed of Weeks, Albert feeling like the need to go to the backhand there instead of getting in front of it. They're calling that a base hit.
Yeah, he was in there looking for the backhand, a little bit of a trickier hop, but if he gets his body in front, he can have that same flip throw over. Even though Weeks runs well down the line, Santana was going to be there in position to cover the base.
Weeks takes off the throw down from Wilson. Is on the second base side, and just saw the collision between Ibar and Weeks. That's one of those ones as a base runner, you definitely get a little whiplash there. I mean, that was a straight up collision. Both guys just dropping down. Weeks will reach on the stolen base.
Boy, he had a pretty good jump. Pennington taken all the way. Was standing up as he sees the throw being high, and of course Ibar leaping up for it. He didn't slide in there. That's part of the reason why the collision.
Yep.
Now, if the baseball was thrown right away to Ibar, they could have tagged him out. He would have been out because he never reached the base.
I mean, I guess as a base runner, you've got a decision to make there. You see the shortstop coming across. He's looking for the baseball. It's either kind of try to do that and just barrel through him. You've got the right to the bag there. Or try to dive and get around him. But he appears to be all right, so stays in the game, picks up the stolen base, his 10th of the year. And a man in scoring position. 1 ball, no strikes on Pennington, who doubled in the 1st, grounded out in the 4th. Pickoff attempt, and the throw's a little bit high.
Boy, they had him a little quicker throw to second. Ervin has 1 pickoff this year.
Another pickoff attempt, and no, he got the hand in there. That slight little hesitation by Irvin waiting because Ibar was there. And Weeks able to get the hand back in there.
Well, that's pretty close. You're right. If he's right away spin and throws, he's got him. Well, he looks like he's out.
He may have gotten him
before he got his hand because he made contact with Ibar at second.
Breaking pitch in for a strike, evens the count at 1-1. Down to the dirt. Nice block by Wilson as Weeks holds at second base.
Part of the game here for Santana. You got Reddick on deck, who's been swinging the bat exceptionally hot of late. Want to get through this inning if you can. You thought you might have got through on that ground ball, but it got through. And right side of the infield.
Swing and a miss, hard breaking pitch down and in. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, you got to go right back with that same pitch. Just the reaction that Pennington had on that hard slider. Committed to his swing, but then could not stop it as the ball ended up in the dirt.
Pretty good lead for Weeks, the 2-2 in the dirt. Full count now. Josh Reddick, the right fielder, on deck. .80 pitches now for Irvin. This inning started with that soft liner by Suzuki to Ibar. Calgill went down looking, and then that base hit by Weeks under the glove of Pujols. .3-2 on its way. Missed inside, he walked him. That's the first free pass issued by Santana. Brings up Reddick.
Give him a changeup. Didn't miss by a lot.
Number 16, right fielder Josh Reddick.
One ball, no strikes on Reddick, who's hit a fly ball to right, and he has struck out. Mike Butcher's going to come out and pay a visit now. Irvin scuffling to find that strike zone. Tough at bat. A plate appearance by Cliff Pennington, drawing the walk and now falling behind at 2-0 on the Oakland A's team leader in home runs in Reddick, who has 9 in the midst of a 7-game hitting streak.
Yeah, you just try to refocus. When you think about it, you thought you were through the inning and the ball gets into the hole, just past Pujols for a base hit, and a walk. Throwing a bunch of extra pitches here now, and then you have a dangerous hitter in Reddick in a good hitter's count.
Two balls and no strikes. The pitch now low. 3-0. Seth Smith on deck. Said refocusing or getting back on track after you thought you had the last out. Would look to be, and it should have probably been, the last out on the bouncer by Jemile Weeks. Different guys since then. Weeks stealing second base, Pennington drawing the walk, and now Irvin falling behind here 3-0. 3-1.
That's a good fastball pitch away. You want to make sure that's not in the inner part of the plate and down. That's a spot where left-handed batters like to try to square up that baseball. It becomes a dangerous pitch. You'll go fastball away.
Runners go, and that pitch is in the dirt, and it's loaded up for Smith. Back-to-back walks for Ervin Santana, who had no issue whatsoever as far as command until that single by Weeks. Now he's in a little bit of trouble here. Still 2 outs. And Smith coming to the plate. He's 0 for 2. He's grounded out to Pujols, and he struck out swinging the last time up. Outfield straight around. Trumbo a little bit deeper and right. Pujols deep at first. Ervin from the stretch delivers a breaking pitch for a strike.
Oh, so important, that first pitch with the bases loaded.
You still like the fact, even though you've struggled with the command here over the last couple of batters, staying from the stretch? Because sometimes guys feel more comfortable in that windup.
I still think with the bases loaded, that always is the best option for you, because that way, if you're at a full windup, everyone gets a few extra steps just in case there's a base hit into the outfield. All three would score rather easily.
A ball and a strike here on Smith. Good speed on the bases. Swing and a miss. A little bit tardy on that pitch. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 25 pitches thrown by Santana here in the 6th inning. Weeks at third, Pennington at second, and Reddick over at first. Ervin trying to keep this a 3-0 Angels lead. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Smith goes down swinging, and Bobby Wilson touches home plate to force out Weeks. We head to the bottom of the 6th, still 3-0 Halos. Nice job by Ervin getting locked back in, striking out Smith to keep the bases loaded for the Athletics.
Well, he threw some great pitches to Seth Smith there. Nasty sliders.
Vernon Wells takes that pitch outside for ball 1. Wells, Ibar, and Wilson, 7, 8, and 9 for the Angels here in the 6th. Swing and a miss on the breaking pitch. Count even at 1-1. Wells with a fly ball to center and a base hit to left. 1 for 2. One ball, 2 strikes. Looks like Vernon back to holding the hands up a little bit higher. Guy that tweaks his swing
I think too much. And even
much.
talking to Mike Scioscia about that, he said if he just allowed him to have his normal swing. I mean, just watch him in batting practice. He was hitting the ball hard all the way through.
Late on that one, and that's a fair ball just inside the line. Wells is going to stop there as Reddick got to that baseball very quickly. And it's a 2-hit game for Vernon as Colon got in on his hands, but he just fought that one off.
And we talk about his adjustments in his swing, his hands. This get back to your normal swing. You've been productive throughout your career. He did a nice job, even though that ball ran in on him. Kept his hands in long enough to be able to hit it hard enough to get it by Barton at first base.
There's Ibar twice having hit a fly ball to Smith in left field. Fouls the bunt back, and it snowballs to a strike. Looked like Eric more trying to bunt for a base hit there than a sacrifice. I'll tell you what, I really like the way Josh Reddick plays right field.
Well, he's extremely aggressive. Charges the baseball very well.
This one out toward the alley at left center field. Wells was off with the pitch as Cowgill tracks it down, and Vernon heads back to first base. So 3 fly ball outs to the left part of the outfield for Eric Ibar, and his struggles continue. 1 out.
Well, and what we've said, with line drives that way, ground balls hard that way, but fly balls to that side of the field is not a productive swing for Eric Ibar. He's too good of a player not to be able to make that adjustment and hit that line drive that way.
So Wells still at first base. Ibar is the first down here in the 6th. Bobby Wilson, the batter. 0 for 2. Fly ball to left and a ground ball to third. Vernon takes off again. Little bouncer back to Colon. Fires to second base. They got him there. It's an inning-ending double play. 1-6-3 goes to Twin Killing. We're through 6. The Angels still up 3-0.
You can taste. And by Southern California Toyota. Check out the full line of fuel-efficient vehicles at your Southern California Toyota dealer.
Top of the 7th, the Halos up 3-0. The beautiful orange circle. Ervin Santana to face Keila Kaiue, Josh Donaldson, and Derek Barton. You're still begging for that dinner at Felix's, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Breaking pitch for a strike. Kaiue, the DH, is 0 for 2. A fly ball to center field, and a strikeout in the 5th. Nice job by Ervin working out of that 2-out base loaded jam in the 6th. As Kaiue rips one down the right field line. That's a fair ball, and it bounces into the seats. So Kaiue will be on board with a double to start this inning. His 8th double of the year.
We hit the ball well to left center for this time. Turns on it. Kaiue is very quick on the ball in the inner half of the plate. Butcher calling down to the bullpen. That ground ball that got through the hole by Albert Pujols last inning. Irvin had to throw an extra 15 pitches to get through that inning, which could be taxing.
Breaking pitch is in for a strike on Josh Donaldson, the third baseman. Donaldson with a fly ball to center and a ground ball to third. Halos starting to get some action going in their bullpen. Donaldson lifts this one foul and out of play. And it's an 0-2 count as Ernesto Frieri is the first man up for the Angels. Swing and a miss. Down goes Donaldson, and there's out number one.
Well, you talk about getting locked back in. The importance of a strikeout there, because the ground ball to the right side of the infield advances Kaiue to third base with one out. Another nasty slider for Irvin.
Strikeout number 8 for Santana. 2 walks issued. And 3 hits allowed. 2 doubles and a base hit. Derek Barton, the first baseman, swinging first pitch. Bounces this one to Howie. 2 down. As Kaiue advances to third base. As the Chevy Cruze Eco offers the best highway fuel economy of any gas engine in America. With an EPA estimated 42 miles per gallon highway, you can continue your journey with fewer stops and fewer dollars. The Chevy Cruze, live life uninterrupted. So 2 quick outs after that leadoff double. Man at third, and Kurt Suzuki coming to the plate. Suzuki's hit a fly ball to center field, and he hit that little soft liner to Ibar in the 6th inning. Lost this one foul and out of play.
Got away with that slider, backed up on him.
Just doesn't look, because of that, the problem that Suzuki has had with that hand, that he could, that's that pull hand, the bottom hand of the bat, bringing the bat through the strike zone. A couple of times we've seen him step out of the batter's box and kind of shake that left hand a little bit.
Even as he tries to hold up his swing on a hard pitch away, you can see at times very difficult for him. But you know, as usual, you're seeing him playing and catching a ton of innings.
Got that padding on there. Tapper foul, 1-2. Isn't that Jeff Bagwell? He used to get hit quite a bit on that left hand. Did he develop a pad?
Exactly.
The batting glove.
He wasn't giving up that outer part of the plate, so if he ran the fastball in, he wasn't moving out of the way. He was going to keep his hands right there through the baseball. He had great power the other way. He could turn on a pitch very well too, Bagwell could, but the other way, crushed the ball.
1-2 pitch. Fastball got him looking on the outside corner. Down goes Suzuki at 7th inning. Stretch time at the Big A, and the Angels still on top. you can take our coverage of the Angels with you this season by subscribing to MLB.tv today. And you can see every Angels out-of-market game live online and on your favorite devices in HD quality. Visit Angels.com to order, get more details. MLB.tv, baseball everywhere. Top of the order here in the 7th for the Halos. Trout, Callaspo, and Pujols. Mike Trout 2 for 3, couple of singles, a stolen base, and 2 runs scored. Fastball a little bit high. Just the 77th pitch thrown by Bartolo Colon in this game. He has given up 11 hits. As Trout looks at a strike to even the count. Bartolo struck out 3, walked nobody. This one hit well out toward right center field. Giving chases Cowgill. He'll pull up. This one is gone. Oppo taco for Mike Trout. 4-0 Angels.
Boy, this kid is amazing. We talked about the fact that first at bat struck out. And then the adjustments he's made. He's done that a number of games in which the first at bat strikeout, but then adjustments. Reads a pitcher as well as anybody. He's only 20 years old. It's a fastball, middle in, and he's still able to drive that ball out to center field. That's how strong and how quick his bat is through the strike zone. You see that saying right there, inside out, and hit that ball out to center field. That's unbelievable power.
3rd home run of the season for Trout. Picks up his 8th run batted in.
There's a lot of talk about that other guy back east being young, good hitter, and Bryce Harper. But I'll tell you what, Mike Trout is fantastic.
It's a good thing there's no bias whatsoever in the media. 2 balls and 1 strike. Callaspo takes that pitch on the outside corner, and it is 2-2. Second 3-hit game of the year for Mike Trout. He had one against the Twins on the 9th.
Again, this is a fastball inside out approach, and it's out to dead center field. Well, that's how quick his bat is and how strong he is and how compact that swing. Boy, the adjustments he's made, because Bartolo Colon got him out quickly that first at bat.
Callaspo hitting one sharply to Weeks at second base. There's the first out of the 7th. Alberto had been 2 for 3, now 2 for 4. Callaspo with the Angels on the board with his RBI double in the 3rd. So with 1 out, nobody on, Albert Pujols coming to the plate. Albert 3 singles, 2 runs batted in, now 14 RBIs. Overshift is on, 3 infielders on the left. Albert examined a little bit high, and it's 1 ball, no strikes. Another look in by Bartolo Colon to Alfonso Marquez. 1-0 pitch. It's up and in. 2 balls and no strikes. Jerry Blevins, a left-hander. Andrew Kerrigan, the right-hander, loosening for Oakland. 3-0. Kendrys Morales on deck.
And certainly Albert's going to get the green light here, but again, we got to see if he can center a baseball here. Don't be overly aggressive.
Pulls this one to the left side. Pennington has it, the shortstop, and Albert is thrown out for the 2nd out here in the 7th. Let's go back to our Hyundai key to the game.
Well, we brought out some George Harrison here. Something. Everyone trying to do their part here to give the Angels an opportunity to win a game. Mike Trout, home run. The other swings he's had, the aggressive base running. Callaspo has been fantastic with the bat. Urban Santana with that nasty slider has done his part. The defense today has done their part to provide Urban that opportunity to have a shutout going into the 8th inning.
Oh, Bartolo Colon is now done as Bob Melkin is making a call to the bullpen. We're still in the 7th. The Angels on top 4-0.
West Patty melt from Carl's Jr. with jalapenos, pepper jack cheese, and Santa Fe sauce. It's a spicy twist on a classic burger. By AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. And by Dodge.
Left-hander Jerry Blevins comes on in place of Bartolo Colon as we are still in the 7th inning with 2 outs, 89 pitches. The book closed on Colon, 4 runs, 3 earned. 12 hits allowed, including the home run to Mike Trout. In and out, who's in, who's out. Jerry Blevins coming on to spin Kendrys Morales around to the right side of the plate.
Boy, his 14th game already. Fastball 88 to 93, curveball, slider, changeup.
Actually, the 4 runs that Colon gave up are all earned. Morales looks at a strike, evens the count at 1-1. Kendrys 1 for 3, had a single off Bartolo in the 5th. This one pulled over to Donaldson at third base. The inning comes to an end, but Mike Trout with his 3rd home run of the season, his 2nd 3-hit game of the year. We've played 7. The Big A and the Halos have a 4-0 lead. Santana back out on the mound. Santana to face 9-1-2. Cowgill, Weeks, and Pennington here in the 8th inning. This one toward the middle. Ibar can't get it. It's a leadoff base hit for Cowgill, who had been 0 for 2, now 1 for 3. Second straight inning in which the leadoff man has reached. Remember, Coyote had the double to start the 7th. He's stranded at 3rd. As we take a look at our Chevron starting pitchers with the White Sox rolling into town for 2-game set beginning tomorrow night.
Gavin Floyd with a very good over-the-hand 12-6 break on his curveball. Good fastball. Throwing the ball very well with an ERA 2.53 against Jerome Williams, who has been outstanding at the Big A. Had a tough time coming out of the bullpen the other day in Texas, but other than that, he's been very good for the Angels.
Scott Downs is up and loosening for the Angels. Jamal Weeks swings first pitch and lofts one out toward left center field. Long run for Vernon Wells. Still going back there. He'll track it down, make the catch. As Cowgill heads back to first base. So Weeks with that fly ball out is 1 for 4 in the ball game. And up steps the shortstop, Cliff Pennington.
And that's what you want as a starting pitcher, have a team be aggressive against you, getting those quick outs late in the game. This could be Irvin's last batter, though, if Pennington gets on with Reddick on deck. Scott Downs may be called to get him out.
Little tap of foul that trickles back behind the plate. 0-1 count on Pennington, who doubled in the first inning. Grounded out to Kendrick in the 4th, walked and was stranded in the 6th. That was the one, I guess, hiccup, if you will, in this game for Ervin Santana. After getting the first 2 outs in that 6th inning, gave up the base hit to Weeks. It probably should have been the 3rd out. Then back-to-back walks before getting Smith to strike out as Weeks takes off to second to throw. Gets away from Ibar, but Cowgill, pardon me, picks up a stolen base. 1 ball, 1 strike on Pennington, the shortstop.
Boy, pretty good jump. Irvin has allowed 6 stolen bases in 6 attempts. And he's been on the hill. Not much of a chance for Bobby Wilson to throw him out there, as Irvin going with a higher leg kick. Easy able to get in there as Cowgill to second base. Sometimes you like to see, on occasion, although with 3-0 lead you don't want to do so, but occasionally that slide step.
Bouncer to Pujols. He'll wave off Santana. 2 down. Advancing to 3rd is Cowgill. And Reddick will come up to face Santana.
Number 16, right fielder Josh Reddick.
Reddick, the right fielder, 0 for 2. Fly to right, a strikeout and a walk. Irvin this year, the most pitches he has thrown in a game, 111. Last 2 starts. Before that, 110. That was the 107th, and it's 2 balls and no strikes on Reddick. Downs is ready to go in the bullpen if needed.
And just go with the challenge him with a fastball away now. Try to keep it down.
2-1.
Wow, felt confident in that slider to be able to throw for a strike.
Downs hasn't pitched since Saturday when he picked up his 3rd save. That was a 4-2 win against Texas. 2-1. This one pulled foul. Two and 2 count with 2 outs here in the 8th. The pitch outside, full count. Seth Smith, the man on deck.
Well, Irvin, have your best pitch of the game right here. More likely your last batter. Give everything you got here.
Payoff pitch. This one bounced foul. Irvin with 9 strikeouts and 2 walks. 4 hits allowed. Another 3-2. This one rolled foul again.
Well, you're so tempted as a pitcher here to throw another slider, just try to almost bounce it down and in, see if you get a swing and miss.
And he walked him. 2-out walk, puts runners at the corners, and here comes Mike Scioscia. And that is going to be it for Ervin Santana. 112 pitches on the afternoon. He will depart with an opportunity to pick up his 2nd win of the season. He will depart also with a very nice round of applause from the Angels faithful.
Ervin Santana set the tone early. It's a punch-out look, and then Alberto Callaspo drives in Mike Trout from first. Albert Pujols base hit RBI, one of his 3 infield hits. Mike Trout inside out of the ballpark to dead center field. His 3rd home run of the season. Has a couple runs scored, but Ervin Santana 7 2/3, matched to full innings, 9 punch-outs, his 4 hits allowed.
Scott Downs on in relief. Looks like Johnny Gomes is going to pinch hit for Seth Smith here. Smith ends the game going 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. Downs with 3 saves. Pitching now his 13th game. 10 innings, 7 hits, 5 strikeouts, and 2 walks. Opponents hitting 194 against him. Good property at 1st and 3rd. Both runners belonging to Santana. First one on its way. That is a fastball strike on the outside corner. Johnny Gomes this year, a .236 average. This is his 25th game. 5 home runs, 12 runs batted in, 0 for 2 as a pinch hitter. He got the start in left field in last night's game. Pardon me, a DH in last night's game. Went 0 for 3, had a couple of walks. The 0-1 pitch. Must have been just below the knees. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Scott Downs can paint the corner with his fastball. It's not overpowering, but he spots it very well.
The 1-1 pitch. 2 balls and a strike. Mentioned that Scott last pitched on Saturday. That was against Texas. 1/3 of an inning in that one. 1 strikeout. Trying to get some work in. The 2-1. Swing and a miss. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
That's a good spot to live at this point of the game. Force Gomes to hit the ball to the bigger part of the ballpark. Stay away, sink it. If you're going to come inside, come off the plate in.
Cowgill at third, Reddick at first, and they'll check in on Reddick. No runs, 4 hits, 1 error, 5 left on for Oakland. 4 runs, 12 hits, no errors, 6 left on for the Angels. Halos with 2 in the third, 1 each in the 5th and 7th innings. Two-two pitch, ground ball to second base. Kendrick's got the skimmer. The inning comes to an end. We head to the bottom of the 8th. The Angels with a 4-0 lead. Prime time for Baseball Night in America as we bring you 8 straight weeks of baseball's best, and it all starts with an interleague matchup between regional rivals. Red Sox taking on the Phillies, or the Orioles battling the Nationals. Baseball Night in America presented by Chevrolet begins Saturday at 4 p.m. Pacific, only on Fox. Check your local listings for the game in your area. New pitcher on for the Oakland Athletics with the Angels up 4-0 here in the 8th. Andrew Kerrigan takes over for Jerry Blevins, who went 1 inning and got the ground ball out to end the 7th.
And Kerrigan is a guy with a power fastball, 92-97. Good slider also. He's going to go after you just like Bartolo Colon with a lot of fastballs, but can be wild at times.
Johnny Gomes, who pinch hit for Seth Smith, remains in the game. He is in left field. Mark Trumbo to lead things off. Trumbo, Kendrick, and Wells here in the Angels half the 8th. No 1 count. Mark today 1 for 3, had an infield base hit in the 5th inning. Mark now with a 6-game hitting streak. Fastball is in there. Quickly, no balls at 2 strikes. 1-2. Kerrigan, a 25-year-old native of Connecticut. At the University of North Carolina. 5th round pick in 2007. Got to the big leagues for the first time last year, pitching in 6 games as Trumbull bounces this one to the right side. Weeks to his left has it. And there is out number 1. Well, I tell you what, nice approach too. Last couple of at-bats for Trumbo, taking what's given to him, meaning if they're going to pitch him away, especially with 2 strikes, just go ahead and try to push one through the right side, especially if they're playing in the pull a little bit.
And we noticed that even in spring training. I think that's the effect that Albert Pujols had on him as far as with 2 strikes. Don't try to hit the ball out of the ballpark. If they make a mistake, a pitcher does, then you can hit it out. But otherwise, shorten up your swing and hit the ball the other way. You get some good results out of it.
Howie Kendrick is 0 for 3. Evens a count of 1 ball, 1 strike with that pitch. Two and 1 count. Howie twice was grounded out to short. Last time up, came up with the bases loaded, was ahead of the count at 2-0, and then hit into a fielder's choice that ended the 5th inning. Takes that one inside. 3 balls and a strike. Vernon Wells on deck. And he walked him. First walk issued by A's pitching this afternoon. Puts a man on for Vernon, who's had a 2 for 3 game. Base hit the left, and that inside out approach. Down one between Barton and the line. Ended up being a single. That came leading off the 6th inning. One ball, no strikes on Wells. This is the 7th game that Kerrigan has pitched in this year. 8.44 ERA, 5 1/3 innings, 6 hits, 4 strikeouts, and 7 walks. Vernon fouls one back just above us. 1 ball, 1 strike. Oakland in the 9th will have Kaiue, Donaldson, and Barton. As Vernon looks at a strike, and it's 1-2. Scott Downs will be coming on. Finish this one off, you would think.
Save situation for Scott Downs.
Although it looks like perhaps maybe Ernesto Frieri might be playing some catch. They're getting ready to play some catch in the bullpen. 2-2 now. Wells pops this one up. This one will be in the seats on the first base side, so the count remains at 2-2. Breaking pitch looped out towards center field. Cowgill to his right makes the catch. 2 down. Kendrick heads back to first. Derek Ibar will step to the plate.
Let's see if Eric can hit the ball on the ground here on the line. 3 fly ball outs to that part of the field.
Kangaroo Court, one way of taking care of the ground ball, fly ball situation with Eric Ibar? Doesn't happen any longer, does it?
You know, I mean, it's being fun, but the reality is that it could, as a hitter, force you to be able to do that.
That's a fair ball, and that is an out. The inning comes to an end. 8 complete. The Angels with a 4-0 lead. After some of the most thrilling semifinal matches in history of Fox Sports is proud to bring you exclusive live coverage of the UEFA Champions League final. Bayern Munich becomes the first team since '84 to play the final in their home stadium. They take on Drogba and Chelsea, with both teams looking to complete their improbable championship run. The UEFA Champions League final live Saturday, 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific, only on Fox. Peter Borges makes an appearance. He is in center field, taking over Mike Trout. Mike moves over and takes over for Mark Trumbo. Scott Downs got the last out in the 8th inning, back out here in the 9th. Keila Kaiue, the DH, looks at a strike on the outside corner.
The patterns that Scott Downs will do, will throw a fastball away, fastball in.
That one fouled back, and he got a piece of Bobby Wilson.
Now he can go back outside, or he could try to sneak a fastball up and in. Because Kaiue is definitely going to be looking away. Again, at this point of the game, you want to utilize the bigger part of the yard, and that'd be a fastball away to make him hit it to left field, to left center field.
Here's the 0-2 pitch, breaking ball. This one down and away. 1-2 now. Downs is ready in the 1-2. Swing and a miss on the breaking pitch. Down goes Kaiue. There's the first out here in the 9th.
What a great spot. It's all predicated because he was able to throw a fastball inside earlier in the sequence of pitches. Good break to that curveball for Downsy.
There's Josh Donaldson, the third baseman. Donaldson takes down low. 1 ball, no strikes. Donaldson 0 for 3. Fly to center. Ground ball to third and a strikeout. Evens the count at 1 ball, 1 strike to Scott Downs. 2 balls and a strike. Frieri out in the bullpen, just playing the occasional catch just in case the Angels get into a little bit of trouble here in the 9th inning.
Might be asked just in case Suzuki would come up.
Derek Barton, the man on deck, is a left-handed batter. He's the first baseman, then Suzuki. 2-1, a ground ball to second base. Howie Kendrick has it. 2 down.
Another perfectly placed pitch by Scott Downs. Sinker away. Take the sting out of the bat. Weak ground ball to second base. Perfect location of that little sinker.
There's Barton with 2 outs and nobody on. Halos trying to close this one out after getting shut out last night by the final of 5-0, looking to shut out Oakland. They lead it 4-0 here in the 9th. 4 hits for the Athletics. 2 singles and 2 doubles. Ervin Santana on his way to his second win. Barton bounces it foul, evens the count at a ball and a strike. Missing down and away. 2-1 now. The 2-1. Barton rolls it foul off the screen in front of the dugout. Oakland down to the last strike. Halos looking for their 16th win. It would be their 10th victory here at the Big A. Santana looking for his second victory. Second consecutive victory after starting the season 0-6. Just missed outside, a full count.
A pretty good spot with that fastball. He'd been at a half a baseball off the corner, but most times you're going to see a hitter swing at that. You got to have a real good eye. Get it out of your frozen by that pitch and location.
Three-two, and this one's bounced foul just wide of the bag. Downs will reset and do it again. Just 19 pitches thrown by Downs. This being the 4th batter he has faced. And Johnny Gomes to ground out the pinch hitter in the 8th inning. Struck out Kaiue and then got Donaldson to ground out to Howie Kendrick. 3-2 to Barton again. This one's fouled back to the screen. Kurt Suzuki, the catcher, is on deck. Chicago White Sox rolling into town for a 2-game series. Tomorrow night and Thursday afternoon. Another 3-2. This one's fouled off the left. Another foul ball by Barton. Jerome Williams going tomorrow night, 7:05 start against Gavin Floyd. And then Thursday at 12:35 start, a little afternoon game. Chris Sale going up against C.J. Wilson. Here it's 4-0 Halos. 9th inning. 2 outs, nobody on, and a full count. The pitch. This one sharply hit into left, a base hit. Barton wins that battle, a 2-out knock. Now with the man on and Kurt Suzuki coming up, it looks like Mike Scioscia is going to go to the bullpen. Ernesto Frieri is coming on, so we got ourselves a pitching change. The Angels leading it 4-0. It's Ernesto Frieri coming on here to face Kurt Suzuki. Kind of an interesting move in that Scott Downs came on in the 8th inning with runners at first and third. The tying run in the on-deck circle becoming a save situation, and if he gets the last out, it would have gone in the books as a save, but now Frieri comes on with a man on and 2 outs.
Well, that's one of those feel situations. If you're a manager, though, you're going to have your closer right now, and Scott Downs a little bit, unhappy about that because it's a save situation and you did a nice job, but now it's up to Ernesto to come in and close out. His fastball has been outstanding, 92 to 94. Slider very sharp also.
Kurt Suzuki with a fly ball to center, a line out to short, and a strikeout looking in the 7th. 0 for 3. Barton takes off, and that pitch is down low. Defensive indifference is how Barton arrives at second base. Suzuki gets jammed and fouls it back. 1 ball, 1 strike. One from Ernesto. Swing and a miss by Suzuki, and it's 1-2.
Well, that's that sneaky fastball that he throws from that arm angle.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Down goes Suzuki. Light that baby up as the Angels shut out the A's 4-0.
Well, you talk about a complete win. That was a complete win by the Halos today. Callaspo, big game at the plate, a couple hits. Albert Pujols, 3 hits. Mike Trout, the big fly, and also 3 hits himself, scored a couple runs. Urban Santana, outstanding, 9 punch-outs and 7 2/3 shutout baseball. The defense, outstanding. Everybody was a part of this victory today. A huge one to be able to finally beat the Oakland A's here to be able to split this 2-game series.
Urban Santana with his 2nd consecutive victory, going 7 2/3, 4 hits, as Gilby pointed out, 9 strikeouts, 3 walks. Mike Trout with his 2nd 3-hit game of the season, his 6th multi-hit game of the year. 2 singles, a solo home run, a stolen base, 3 runs scored at the top of the order, and it all started off for him with a strikeout back in the 1st inning. We were talking about it. You looked at me and he goes, he struck out in the 1st. I'm like, what are you talking about? And he said, go back and look a couple of games, and sure enough, when he has struck out in that first at-bat, and all of a sudden he's turned it on the next couple of ABs.
It's truly amazing for a young hitter, especially a 20-year-old, to make the adjustments he makes at the plate. The first at-bat, Bartolo Colon threw some good pitches. After that, quality at-bat after quality at-bat.
4-0, the Angels win it. They pick up their 16th win of the year. And now 10-9 at the Big A this year. And the Angels with an opportunity to pick up a game on Texas, should Texas drop one to the Kansas City Royals, as they are wrapping up their 2-game series in Arlington. And it's our pleasure to welcome in, we believe, that Albert Pujols is ready to go. Albert, can you hear us all right?
Yeah, can you turn it up a little bit?
Albert would like the volume turned up. Please turn up the volume for Albert. Halos win it 4-0, giving up for Albert Pujols. 3-hit game for you, Albert. And, just like anything else in baseball, there's those times where you square up or barrel up a baseball and you're hitting them right to guys. Then you have a game like today where you get 3 ground balls in the infield. They turn out to be singles, and they're huge as far as contributing to this victory, but probably big for you, feeling good that you got 3 hits and also picked up a couple of runs batted in.
Well, it feels good to get a win. So, it feels good to contribute. And, it's after a tough loss last night to come back today. And Irvin did an unbelievable job to keep us in the game, and we scored some runs. Yeah,
Albert, I was going to ask you about playing behind Irvin today. He threw the ball so well. His slider was unhittable. Tell about how good it is to be able to play behind a guy like that with that type of stuff.
Not just behind Irvin, but all our staff. They work quick, and they get that ball, and we need to be in our toes and make some plays. So obviously he got that slider going today, and he got ahead early and put the guys away with the sliders.
Now you got a chance to play your first game here around 4 o'clock and dealing with the shadows. What was that like from an offensive standpoint, starting about the 3rd or 4th inning?
Well, you should. You saw the swings, that we were taking. It's tough, but hey, you had to deal with it. You had to make the adjustment, and I'm glad we scored early, before the shadow gets in there. And it was tough, but at the end, I'm glad we got the win.
Yeah, but we were talking about during the course of the game the adjustments that Mark Trumbo makes with 2 strikes, looking at the approach you took from spring training forward, just to be able to shorten up your swing and making good contact when you're behind in the count.
Well, that's what you try to do with 2 strikes. Obviously, when you feel good, and obviously he's swinging the bat pretty well right now. Just keep it short and simple. Sometimes we try to do too much, and we get a little bit long, but we get a lot of our bats and try to contribute every night.
Albert, as always, we appreciate it. Give it up for Albert Pujols' second 3-hit game of the year. A couple of runs batted in. The Halos pick up the victory, shutting out the Oakland Athletics by the final of 4-0. Stick around, as Angels Live is coming up next with Michael Eaves and Jose Mota. The Angels win it once again by the final of 4-0.